Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a subject that many of us may have witnessed but rarely discuss: what it means to be a woman with no friends. Imagine the loneliness that echoes through her days, the silence that fills spaces where laughter and companionship should be. To be without friends is not merely to lack company, it's to feel unseen, unheard, and sometimes unworthy. Society tells us that friendship is a cornerstone of life. We celebrate the bonds between women, the shared strength, the unspoken support. But what happens when those bonds are absent? A woman without friends must navigate a world where she's expected to be strong without a safety net, to lift herself up without hands to catch her when she falls. Some may wonder, how does such a woman survive? How does she endure the long nights, the moments when she needs someone to lean on? The answer is simple: she learns to rely on herself. She becomes her own support system. Her strength becomes rooted in the struggle of standing alone. She learns to be resilient, but not without paying a price. But let me be clear. Being alone does not mean she is less deserving of friendship, love, or companionship. It simply means she has yet to find her people. In a world that often isolates those who are different, she may have been misunderstood, overlooked, or judged. And so, she walks her path in solitude. A woman with no friends experiences a profound loneliness, one that goes beyond the simple absence of company. It's not just about being alone in a physical sense, but about the emotional and mental isolation that comes with not having anyone to share life's moments with, whether they are small daily occurrences or significant milestones. The world around her may move at its usual pace. People connect, talk, laugh, and lean on each other, but for her, there is a kind of emotional stillness. There is silence where there should be laughter, an empty space where companionship should fill her life. This kind of isolation can weigh heavily on her, often making her question her worth or why she seems to be excluded from the bonds others seem to naturally form. The absence of friends creates a silence that is not just literal but emotional. When there is no one to call to share a piece of good news or no one to confide in during hard times, she may feel as though her experiences, both good and bad, are invisible. This can deepen a sense of isolation, as it seems that no one is witnessing her journey through life. The joy of having someone who truly understands her is missing, as is the comfort that comes from knowing there are people in her life who care about her well-being. The small, everyday moments, like someone asking how her day went or offering a listening ear when she needs to vent, are absent, and those are the moments that often help people feel connected and understood. Her solitude can be especially apparent during moments when social interactions are expected. Perhaps it's a gathering or celebration where others arrive with friends while she stands alone. It's in these moments that her isolation is magnified. Watching others share their lives, engage in conversations, or laugh over shared memories can intensify the feelings of being an outsider. She may find herself wondering why those connections elude her, what it is about her that seems to repel friendship, or why, despite her efforts, she remains on the outside looking in. The loneliness a woman without friends endures is not limited to social gatherings or special occasions. It seeps into the everyday aspects of life, from having no one to share meals with, to experiencing long periods of silence, to scrolling through her phone without anyone to text or call. While she may be surrounded by people, whether at work, in her neighborhood, or even in her family, the lack of close, meaningful friendships creates an emotional void. This sense of isolation can become so overwhelming that it begins to affect her perception of herself. She may start to believe that she is not worthy of friendship, that there is something inherently wrong with her, or that she is not capable of forming meaningful bonds with others. The weight of this loneliness can lead her to withdraw further, creating a cycle that's difficult to break. The more she feels excluded or different, the harder it may be for her to reach out and try to form connections. Eventually, the loneliness becomes a familiar companion, one that she carries with her in every aspect of her life. Society places a significant emphasis on the importance of friendship, particularly among women. The cultural narrative often revolves around the idea that women form strong, intimate bonds with one another, acting as pillars of support in each other's lives. Whether it's portrayed in movies, books, or even in the workplace and social circles, there is a consistent message that female friendship is one of the most cherished and essential relationships a woman can have. Women are often expected to have a close-knit group of friends who serve as confidantes, companions, and sources of strength during difficult times. In this context, friendship is more than just a social connection. It is seen as a vital part of a woman's identity and emotional well-being. This societal expectation creates an implicit pressure for women to conform to these norms of friendship. It suggests that having friends is not just a natural part of life, but a necessity for personal fulfillment and happiness. Friendships among women are often idealized as lifelong bonds that provide unwavering emotional support, laughter, and shared experiences. The image of groups of women gathering together, enjoying each other's company, and forming deep emotional connections is portrayed as the standard. Women who are surrounded by friends are seen as happy, thriving, and well-adjusted, reinforcing the idea that friendships are an essential component of a woman's happiness and success. However, for a woman who has no friends, these societal expectations can feel like a constant reminder of what she lacks. She may be aware of the social narrative that places friendship at the center of a woman's life, but her own experiences do not reflect this ideal. Instead of participating in the camaraderie and closeness that society promotes, she finds herself on the outside looking in. The gap between the societal expectation and her reality becomes glaring, making her feel as though she has failed in some fundamental way. The absence of friends becomes not just a personal struggle, but a deviation from what is considered normal or desirable. This perceived failure can lead to feelings of shame, inadequacy, and isolation. A woman without friends might wonder why she is unable to form the close connections that seem to come so easily to others. She might question what it is about her that makes her different or less worthy of friendship. The societal emphasis on friendship can make her feel as though there is something wrong with her, as if she is deficient in some way for not having the kind of social support that others seem to enjoy effortlessly. This internalized pressure can further alienate her from those around her, making it even harder to seek out friendships or open herself up to new social connections. Moreover, the expectation that friendships are essential for emotional well-being can intensify her loneliness. In a world that glorifies female friendships as a source of joy and strength, the absence of these connections may leave her feeling emotionally starved. She may long for the emotional intimacy and support that friends are supposed to provide, but without them she must navigate life's challenges on her own. The societal belief that friendships are crucial for happiness can make her feel as though her emotional needs are not being met, even if she is otherwise successful in her career, family life, or other areas. Furthermore, the idealization of female friendship can make her question the quality of the relationships she does have, such as acquaintances or professional connections. While she may interact with others on a regular basis, these interactions may lack the depth and emotional intimacy that are typically associated with close friendships. Society's portrayal of friendship as something deep and meaningful can make her feel that casual or superficial connections are not enough, further highlighting her sense of loneliness. Ultimately, societal expectations around female friendship create a double burden for a woman with no friends. Not only does she grapple with the personal pain of isolation, but she also contends with a broader cultural narrative that suggests her life is incomplete without the close bonds that are supposed to define a woman's emotional and social landscape. For a woman who finds herself without friends, the absence of external support often forces her to cultivate an inner strength, developing self-reliance in a way that may not have been necessary otherwise. With no close companions to turn to in times of need, she learns to depend on herself. She becomes her own confidante, her own problem solver, and her own source of encouragement. While this self-reliance can be empowering, it is also born out of necessity. It emerges not because she chose this path, but because without the emotional and practical support that friends typically provide, she has no other choice. In moments of difficulty, she may wish for the comforting presence of someone who could listen to her concerns, offer advice, or simply provide a shoulder to lean on. Without that option, she must instead process her thoughts and emotions independently, finding ways to soothe her own distress. This forces her to become highly introspective. as she must learn to navigate her challenges without external validation or reassurance. Over time, this practice can build a deep sense of self-awareness and resilience, as she grows accustomed to handling life's ups and downs on her own. The woman without friends also learns how to manage practical aspects of her life independently. Whether it's making important decisions, handling crises, or celebrating achievements, she learns to operate without the typical feedback or input that friends provide. She becomes skilled at assessing situations, weighing her options, and making choices that are in her best interest, often without anyone to consult. This can foster a strong sense of independence and personal agency. She is the one who makes her decisions, and she is the one who deals with the consequences, both good and bad. However, this self-reliance can also create a heavy burden. There are moments in life when the weight of solitude can feel overwhelming. Decisions that might feel easier to make with a friend's guidance suddenly become daunting when faced alone. Life's challenges, such as health issues, financial struggles, or personal conflicts, can feel magnified without the emotional support that friends typically offer. While she has become adept at solving her own problems, the absence of another perspective or a comforting presence can make these challenges feel even more isolating. While her self-reliance strengthens her, it can also lead to a sense of emotional distance from others. Having learned to rely solely on herself, she may find it difficult to open up or ask for help when the opportunity arises. This self-reliance, while empowering, can create barriers to forming new relationships. She may feel that her independence has become such a defining part of her identity that it's hard to let others in. After years of managing on her own, the idea of depending on someone else or sharing her vulnerability may feel foreign, even risky. This judgment can come from a variety of sources: peers, colleagues, or even family members. People may wonder why she doesn't seem to have close relationships, and rather than seeking to understand her situation, they might leap to conclusions about her. They may assume that she has done something to push people away, or that there is something inherently wrong with her that prevents her from forming friendships. These assumptions, often made without any real insight into her life, can reinforce her feelings of exclusion and alienation. In many cases, the judgments she faces are based on societal stereotypes about how women are supposed to behave. Society often expects women to be naturally sociable, nurturing, and skilled at forming bonds with others. When a woman doesn't fit into this mold, she can be viewed as an outlier, someone who doesn't conform to what is considered normal or desirable. The stereotype of women having large social networks, filled with close friends who support each other through thick and thin, only amplifies the perception that something is wrong with a woman who doesn't have these kinds of relationships. The pain of being misunderstood is compounded by the fact that people rarely take the time to ask about her experiences or to understand the reasons for her isolation. Perhaps she has faced difficult circumstances that have made it hard for her to form or maintain friendships. She may have moved frequently, struggled with personal issues, or encountered betrayal in past relationships. Alternatively, she might simply be introverted or have a personality that thrives on solitude rather than constant social interaction. Whatever the case may be, her situation is often more complex than what others assume. Yet these nuances are frequently overlooked. Instead of empathy, she is met with judgment, which makes it even harder for her to open up or form new connections. She may become guarded, sensing the negative assumptions people have about her, and this only deepens her isolation. The more she feels judged or misunderstood, the more difficult it becomes to break out of the cycle of loneliness. Even if she longs for connection, the fear of being unfairly labeled or misunderstood might keep her from reaching out, creating a barrier between her and potential friendships. Additionally, judgment from others can lead to self-doubt. When people make negative assumptions about her, she might begin to internalize those perceptions, questioning whether there is, in fact, something wrong with her. This can erode her self-esteem and make her feel even more disconnected from the people around her. The internal conflict between knowing her own worth and constantly being subjected to judgment from others can create a painful tension within her. She might start to believe that she is not deserving of friendship or that she is somehow flawed in a way that others are not. In social settings, this judgment can manifest as subtle forms of exclusion. She may be left out of group activities, overlooked for invitations, or treated with a sense of distance. These behaviors, whether intentional or not, can make her feel as though she doesn't belong or isn't wanted. Even in professional or casual environments, where friendships are not necessarily the focus, the sense of being judged or excluded can linger, reinforcing her feelings of loneliness. Ultimately, the misunderstandings and judgments she faces from others can create a vicious cycle, making it harder for her to connect with people and further isolating her from potential friendships. Her experiences are not always the result of any personal failing, but rather a combination of circumstances and societal pressures that have left her on the outside looking in. Yet the judgments she endures often prevent others from seeing her as she truly is, a person with depth, complexity, and a desire for connection, just like anyone else. Her quiet power also comes from her resilience. Over time, she has learned to deal with life's challenges, both big and small, without relying on others for emotional support. She has faced personal hardships, setbacks, and moments of doubt, and yet she has continued to persevere. Each time she overcomes an obstacle on her own, her sense of inner strength grows. This ability to endure and thrive despite adversity is a testament to her resilience, which may not be obvious to those around her but is deeply felt by her. Every challenge she faces alone only strengthens her resolve, reinforcing her belief that she can handle whatever comes her way. Moreover, her quiet power is reflected in her independence. While many people rely on a network of friends for advice, support, or companionship, she has learned to navigate life independently. This independence is not a choice born of desire, but a necessity that she has embraced and turned into a source of strength. She knows how to take care of herself emotionally, mentally, and practically. Whether it's making important decisions or dealing with the everyday stresses of life, she has developed the skills to manage on her own. This independence can sometimes be mistaken for aloofness or detachment, but in reality it is a form of empowerment. She has learned to trust herself, and that trust in her own abilities is a powerful asset. Her quiet strength also lies in her ability to remain compassionate and empathetic, even in the face of her own isolation. Despite not having close friends, she understands the value of human connection and is often deeply empathetic toward others. Her own experiences of loneliness may have heightened her sensitivity to the struggles of others, allowing her to offer support and understanding in ways that are meaningful and impactful. This empathy is another facet of her quiet power, as it shows that her isolation has not hardened her heart or made her indifferent to the pain of others. Instead, it has deepened her understanding of human emotions, making her a source of quiet strength for those who might need it. Finally, her quiet power is evident in her ability to keep going, even when the path is difficult. There are undoubtedly moments when the weight of loneliness feels overwhelming, when she longs for the companionship and support that friends provide. Yet, despite these feelings, she continues to move forward, finding strength in herself when there is no one else to turn to. This ability to persist, even when the road feels lonely, is perhaps the most profound expression of her quiet power. It is not about being invulnerable or immune to pain, but about having the inner strength to keep going despite it. Her resilience, independence, and self-awareness all contribute to this quiet, powerful force that she carries with her, whether others recognize it or not. In a world that often celebrates outward displays of strength, her quiet power may go unnoticed by those around her. However, it is this very strength that sustains her, allowing her to navigate life on her own terms, with a sense of dignity and self-assurance that comes from within. For a woman without friends, her solitude often provides her with a unique opportunity for self-awareness and personal growth. In a world filled with constant social interactions and external influences, being alone allows her the space to delve deep into her own thoughts and feelings. This introspection can lead to a profound understanding of her own identity, values, and desires, something that might be harder to achieve when surrounded by the opinions and expectations of others. As she navigates her solitary journey, she discovers insights about herself that can shape her life in meaningful ways. One of the most significant aspects of this self-awareness is her ability to reflect on her experiences and emotions without the influence of others. When she is alone, she can engage in deep, honest conversations with herself, examining her past relationships, personal choices, and the events that have shaped her life. This reflection allows her to identify patterns in her behavior and thought processes, giving her the opportunity to understand why she may have struggled to form connections in the past. By examining her relationships or lack thereof, she can begin to unravel the complexities of her interactions, recognizing any fears, insecurities, or barriers that may have contributed to her isolation. This kind of insight is invaluable, as it lays the groundwork for personal growth and change. Moreover, this period of introspection can lead her to discover her core values and passions. Without the distractions of friendships and social obligations, she can explore what truly matters to her. What are her interests? What are her dreams? What does she want to achieve in life? The solitude can serve as a blank canvas for her to paint her own vision of happiness and fulfillment. She may take the time to engage in activities that she enjoys, whether it's reading, writing, painting, or pursuing a new hobby. This exploration of her interests can lead her to a deeper understanding of herself and what brings her joy, ultimately helping her cultivate a more authentic life. This self-awareness can also foster a sense of empowerment. As she learns more about herself, she begins to realize that her worth is not defined by her social connections or the presence of friends in her life. She understands that her value comes from within, and that she is capable of creating a fulfilling life on her own terms. This realization can be incredibly liberating. It shifts her perspective from feeling incomplete or unworthy due to her lack of friendships to embracing her individuality and strength. She starts to view her solitude not as a limitation but as an opportunity to become the person she wants to be. Additionally, her introspection can lead to a deeper emotional intelligence. By sitting with her feelings and allowing herself to process her emotions, she becomes more attuned to her emotional landscape. This heightened emotional awareness can help her develop better coping mechanisms for dealing with stress, anxiety, or sadness. Instead of seeking external validation or support from friends, she learns to navigate her emotions independently. This can foster resilience and self-compassion, as she learns to acknowledge her feelings without judgment. As she becomes more self-aware, she may also develop a greater understanding of her relationships with others. Even though she may not have close friends, her observations of social interactions around her can provide valuable lessons. She might recognize the importance of communication, empathy, and vulnerability in relationships, allowing her to approach future connections with a deeper sense of understanding and intention. This growth can prepare her for the possibility of forming friendships in the future, as she is now equipped with the knowledge and self-assurance to engage authentically with others. Finally, this journey of self-discovery can lead to a greater acceptance of herself. In a world that often pressures individuals to conform to societal norms or expectations regarding friendship, she learns to embrace her own path. She recognizes that her journey is unique, and that it is okay to be different from others. This acceptance can be a source of strength, as it frees her from the burden of comparison and allows her to embrace her individuality fully. In summary, the solitude that comes with being a woman without friends provides her with an invaluable opportunity for self-awareness and growth. Through introspection, she can explore her identity, values, and passions, ultimately fostering a deeper understanding of herself and her place in the world. This self-discovery not only empowers her but also lays the foundation for her future relationships, allowing her to engage with others from a place of authenticity and confidence. A woman without friends often experiences a transformative journey towards self-discovery, characterized by the exploration of her passions and interests. In a world that frequently prioritizes social interaction and external validation, solitude provides her with the precious gift of time and space to delve deep into her own desires. With no external distractions or obligations pulling her in different directions, she can turn her attention inward, allowing herself to engage in pursuits that genuinely excite and inspire her. This exploration often begins with a sense of curiosity. With the absence of friends to dictate her activities or influence her choices, she is free to explore a wide range of interests and hobbies. Whether it's painting, writing, cooking, gardening, or studying a new language, she can pursue what truly resonates with her heart and mind. This freedom is empowering. She is no longer bound by the need to conform to group activities or social expectations. Instead, she becomes the architect of her own experiences, allowing her to cultivate a sense of individuality and creativity that might have been stifled in the presence of others. As she immerses herself in these pursuits, she often discovers new talents and skills she never knew she possessed. Engaging in creative activities can lead to profound moments of self-expression, where she finds joy in the act of creating something unique. Whether it's completing a painting, writing a story, or mastering a new recipe, these accomplishments provide her with a sense of fulfillment that strengthens her self-esteem. This newfound confidence fuels her desire to continue exploring and pushing the boundaries of her abilities, fostering a lifelong love of learning and personal development. Moreover, this period of self-exploration allows her to reconnect with her inner child, the part of herself that is curious, adventurous, and unencumbered by societal expectations. In her solitude, she can engage in activities that spark joy and ignite her imagination. Whether it's playing an instrument, crafting, or simply daydreaming, she learns to embrace the playful aspects of life that are often overshadowed by adult responsibilities. This reconnection with her playful spirit can be deeply healing, allowing her to cultivate a sense of wonder and appreciation for the world around her. Through these explorations, she also learns the importance of self-care and nurturing her own needs. As she dedicates time to her passions, she begins to recognize the value of prioritizing her own well-being and happiness. This realization can shift her mindset from seeking fulfillment through external relationships to finding it within herself. By investing time and energy into what brings her joy, she fosters a deeper sense of self-love and acceptance, recognizing that her happiness is not contingent on the presence of others. Additionally, the pursuit of her interests can lead to personal growth and transformation. As she challenges herself to step outside her comfort zone, be it through trying a new hobby, taking a class, or exploring new places, she develops resilience and adaptability. Each new experience serves as an opportunity to learn and grow, building her confidence and expanding her horizons. She learns to embrace discomfort and uncertainty, realizing that growth often occurs in moments of vulnerability. This newfound sense of resilience empowers her to tackle challenges in other areas of her life, fostering a more proactive approach to her personal and professional aspirations. In her solitude, she may take notice of the friendships that exist in her environment between coworkers, family members, or acquaintances, and analyze the qualities that make these relationships strong or weak. Through this lens, she learns about the importance of communication, trust, empathy, and vulnerability in cultivating meaningful connections. She sees how friends support each other in times of need, celebrate successes together, and provide companionship during life's challenges. This understanding fosters a deep appreciation for the qualities that constitute a healthy relationship, further shaping her views on how she might approach friendships in the future. As she observes the interactions of others, she also gains insight into her own needs and desires for connection. While she may currently feel alone, her reflections help her articulate what she seeks in a friendship. She might realize that she values authenticity and openness, desiring relationships where individuals can be vulnerable and genuine. This clarity not only informs her future interactions but also allows her to approach potential friendships with intention and purpose. She learns to seek out people who align with her values, rather than feeling pressured to fit into social circles that do not resonate with her. Moreover, this period of observation can help her recognize the role of emotional intelligence in forming and maintaining relationships. She may witness how effective communication and empathy can bridge gaps between individuals, highlighting the importance of listening and understanding and fostering connection. These insights encourage her to cultivate her own emotional intelligence, making her more attuned to the feelings of others and enhancing her capacity for compassion. By understanding the emotional nuances of relationships, she prepares herself to engage more authentically with others in the future. Her solitude also allows her to reflect on past relationships, examining what worked and what didn't. This retrospective analysis provides her with valuable lessons about boundaries, compatibility, and the importance of mutual respect. She may identify patterns in her past friendships that led to misunderstandings or conflict, allowing her to approach future connections with greater awareness and caution. This self-reflection fosters personal growth, as she learns from her experiences and develops a clearer understanding of her own emotional landscape. Additionally, her journey of understanding relationships may also encompass the exploration of her own fears and insecurities regarding connection. She might grapple with feelings of unworthiness or anxiety about vulnerability, which can prevent her from opening up to others. Through introspection, she learns to confront these fears, recognizing that vulnerability is an essential component of meaningful relationships. By addressing her insecurities, she prepares herself to engage more fully with potential friends, allowing for deeper connections to form. As she gains a broader perspective on relationships, she may also develop a sense of empathy toward others who experience loneliness. She understands the emotional toll of isolation and the longing for connection, allowing her to relate to those who may also struggle with forming friendships. This newfound empathy can lead her to reach out to others who might feel similarly isolated, fostering connections based on shared experiences. Ultimately, her observations of relationships, coupled with her introspection, empower her to approach friendship with a greater sense of intention and authenticity. While she may currently lack close friends, the understanding she gains from her solitude equips her to navigate future relationships more effectively. She learns that friendships are not merely about quantity but about the quality of connection, emphasizing the importance of mutual respect, empathy, and vulnerability. As she prepares to engage with others, she carries with her the wisdom gained from her experiences, making her a more compassionate and self-aware individual ready to embrace the possibility of meaningful connections. The absence of friendships in a woman's life can often lead to profound introspection about the nature of connection and belonging. As she navigates the complexities of her solitude, she may begin to question societal norms surrounding friendship, recognizing that the conventional narrative of needing a close circle of friends to lead a fulfilling life does not necessarily apply to her experience. This realization can empower her to redefine what connection means in her life, allowing her to cultivate a deeper understanding of herself and her relationship with others. In a society that often glorifies large social networks, she may feel pressure to conform to the expectation that happiness is intrinsically linked to having friends. However, her solitude allows her the space to critically examine this belief. She starts to understand that meaningful connections can take many forms and that the value of a relationship is not solely determined by its quantity but rather by its quality. This shift in perspective helps her appreciate the moments of connection she does experience, whether it's a brief conversation with a stranger or a shared smile with a neighbor. Furthermore, her introspection may lead her to recognize that the desire for connection is a fundamental aspect of the human experience. While she may feel alone at times, she understands that many people grapple with similar feelings of loneliness and isolation. This awareness fosters a sense of empathy within her, as she acknowledges that her experiences are not unique but rather a shared part of the human condition. By recognizing the universality of these feelings, she develops a deeper appreciation for the importance of reaching out and forming connections, even if they are not traditional friendships. As she contemplates her own needs for connection, she may also come to value different types of relationships. She might discover that she craves meaningful conversations or intellectual stimulation rather than the traditional markers of friendship, such as social outings or frequent interactions. This realization allows her to seek out connections that align with her desires, whether through community groups, clubs, or shared interest activities. In doing so, she creates a more fulfilling social landscape that caters to her individual needs, fostering connections that resonate with her authentic self. Moreover, her journey of self-discovery may lead her to explore the concept of self-connection. In the absence of friendships, she learns to cultivate a relationship with herself that is nurturing and supportive. She engages in self-reflection, practices self-care, and prioritizes her mental and emotional well-being. This process of self-connection helps her develop a deeper sense of self-worth and self-acceptance, allowing her to feel whole and complete without relying on external validation. This newfound self-connection becomes a powerful foundation for any future relationships she may choose to pursue, as she approaches them from a place of confidence and self-awareness. Additionally, her experience can serve as a reminder of the importance of setting boundaries in relationships. Through her reflections, she may recognize instances where past friendships caused her emotional distress or drained her energy. This understanding empowers her to establish clear boundaries in future interactions, ensuring that her relationships are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. By prioritizing her emotional well-being, she creates a healthier foundation for any connection she chooses to cultivate, ultimately enhancing her sense of belonging. As she embraces her solitude and explores the nature of connection, she might also find solace in the idea that friendships can evolve over time. She may come to understand that not all connections need to be permanent and that people can come into and out of our lives for various reasons. This perspective allows her to approach relationships with an open heart, recognizing that each interaction can provide value, regardless of its duration. Ultimately, her journey toward understanding the nature of connection and belonging is transformative. By questioning societal norms, embracing self-connection, and redefining what friendship means to her, she cultivates a richer and more nuanced understanding of relationships. Her experience empowers her to seek out authentic connections that align with her values, allowing her to navigate her social landscape with intention and grace. This exploration of connection not only deepens her relationship with herself but also opens the door for meaningful interactions with others, enriching her life in ways she may have never anticipated. In conclusion, the journey of a woman without friends is one marked by profound self-discovery, resilience, and a nuanced understanding of connection. While society often places a premium on social networks and friendships, her experience reveals that solitude can be a powerful catalyst for personal growth and introspection. Through her journey, she learns the importance of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and the value of pursuing her passions, ultimately redefining what connection means in her life. Ultimately, her experience illustrates that loneliness does not equate to a lack of fulfillment. Rather, it can serve as an opportunity to explore one's inner world, develop a deeper understanding of the self, and cultivate connections that enrich life in meaningful ways. By embracing her solitude and redefining her relationship with connection, she opens the door to a future filled with possibilities, where she can engage with others authentically and wholeheartedly. The journey may be solitary at times, but it is also rich with potential for growth, healing, and the discovery of genuine connection in its many forms. This woman without friends, however, possesses a quiet power. She knows the depth of her own soul because she has had the time to sit with it. She knows her value, even if others don't always see it. Her strength is in the silent battle she fights daily, in the way she wakes up each morning and continues, despite the absence of anyone to call her close. But this speech isn't just about her isolation, it's about the possibility that still exists. Friendships can form at any stage in life. She may not have friends now, but that doesn't mean she won't find them. Kindness, connection, and understanding can arrive in the most unexpected moments, and when they do, they will be all the more cherished for the time spent waiting. So let us be mindful. Let us look around at those who walk through life alone and not turn away. For a woman with no friends is still a woman full of potential, full of life, and full of worth. And with time, she too will find her circle. Until then, she holds on, becoming her own greatest ally. Thank you. Thank you.